another edition of Talking Politics with Dr. Oladipo. I am your usual host, Dr. Oladipo, the managing editor of The Eagle Online, which operates at www.theeagleonline.com.ng. For this edition of the program, we'll be taking a look at the upcoming governorship election in Edo State, which is an off-cycle election, by the way. And like we say in Nigerian parlance, a lot of gbas have started happening in Edo State, which gives an inkling into the kind of excitement and tempo the election will likely generate among the people. This, we suspect, will obviously go beyond Edo State itself, as a lot of interest has been shown by people who are outside the state itself for the election. I'll be joined today in looking at the situation on ground in Edo State in order to give you a perspective, a very sharp one at that, on what we are likely to expect as an outcome from that election. And joining me to do that on this edition of Talking Politics and Other Issues with Dr. Oladipo is a seasoned journalist who has traversed the political terrain in Nigeria for so many years, and is also the publisher of the conclaveng.com, which operates at www.theconclaveng.com. His name is Sufia Ojeifo, and like I said, he's been around for a while in journalism. Please join me to welcome Mr. Sufia Ojeifo. Welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you very much, Dr. Oladipo, for having me on this program to share my insights into the upcoming governorship election in Edo State, which will hold on September 21 this year.
You're welcome, sir. So let's start with the most recent developments, and that's the court order to the Independent National Electoral Commission to substitute the name of the deputy governorship candidate of the Labour Party with that of Prince Kadiri Asama, a senior advocate of Nigeria. What's your reaction to this? And to further ask, is this positive for Labour Party and its chances?
Yes, I think it's a positive development for the Labour Party, because if you remember, after the primary election, Alufohai was nominated by party Olumedia Pata as his running mate, and I think at a point in time they discovered that there was need for substitution, and they acted within the window, the substitution, the time, allocated or allotted by the Independent National Electoral Commission through the Electoral Act to do that. They did that, but something happened. Fortunately, when INEC was uploading the names of the candidates, they left out the name of Prince Asama. They still retained, the name of Alufohai. So Labour Party had to go to court, and they can't look at the facts of the matter, and discover that Labour Party actually acted within the time frame, permitted by the Electoral Act, and they were deemed to have done the proper thing, and that was why the court gave that order that INEC should go ahead and recognize and upload the name of Prince Kadiri Asama, senior advocate of Nigeria, who is the running mate to Olumedia Pata. And I think by that, I believe that the ticket of Labour Party is now, sanitized and ready to go for the election.
Okay. In every political contest, like we've always known and seen it, there have always been influences here and there. And in Edo State, one of the biggest influences people have always referred to is that of the king of Benin, the monarch. There have been some people saying he has endorsed me. What manner of influence do you think that the Omonoba has over this election, upcoming election? And has he actually backed any candidates? Is he neutral? What weights?
As far as I know, if you are talking of weight, yeah, Omonoba is position is weighty. His office is is very significant. But as for his involvement in politics, I don't think that the Omonoba is partisan. He's not a member of any political party. He's a father of all, and it will not be seen, to be supporting any candidate in the forthcoming election. And that was why he also made it very clear when Media visited him very recently, and he was referring to himself as the son of the palace. The Oba quickly had to make a clarification of that. Look, that he had to consult with his chiefs to find out if there was actually a link between the palace and the Akpata family. But I think the candidate got the drift, and he quickly had to apologize to the Oba to say that, look, I do not mean the son of the palace in terms of maybe in the biological sense, but that since it's a Bini indige, it's a son of Bini, that the Oba is the father of all. So Oba now goes ahead to correct it that, look, you should have said that, yes, that I believe that you are a Bini man. You should have referred to yourself as a son of Benin kingdom, which would have sufficed. But to say that you are the son of the palace gives an impression that you belong to the palace, and because of that, you are getting the support, of the palace of the Oba, which was clarified, and he apologized to the Oba. So that gives an impression that the Oba is dispassionate. He's not supporting anybody. He's not weighing in support of any of the political parties. But all of the political parties, all the candidates, they can go to the Oba to apprise him of their plan to run to be governor and get the usual royal blessings. There's no problem about that. But as for whether the Oba maybe will go out of his way to say, vote for this candidate, don't vote for that candidate, Oba will not do that. The palace has never done that, and I'm sure that this time around, the palace will not do that.
Will not do it. Okay. Yes, but beyond the Oba also, before we go into other real political issues, there have been some names too in Edo State that people will usually want to run to or fraternize with in elections such as this, including the presidency. Like we always see when candidates visit Edo State, there are some people they must see before they leave. Is that going to be there? For instance, we want to mention names like the Benedions. We have the Anenis who are still there, even without, the larger than life influence of the patriarch. We have even Usumbo, we have the former deputy governor, we have Adams Oshiomole. What are the options for these candidates who want to, are they really getting it right in terms of associating with these people? Will they win elections with these names this time around?
Godfatherism is not going to play any factor now because play any role in the emergence of the next governor of Edo State, because even the issue of Godfather has become so negatively, has become so negative such that people get annoyed when you mention that somebody is Godfather of somebody, particularly if they have a whole lot of things against that individual. And I mentioned that, in 2020, the fact that some people saw Oshomole, leading the campaign of the APC candidate then, got them annoyed, and they voted for Obaseki, even though Obaseki was not, he didn't do well in his first term, and that you would have expected that he should have been voted out, but people gladly, voted for him, because they wanted to settle score with a passive godfather, somebody who said he had defeated Godfather in Edo State, and you are now, propping yourself up as a neo godfather. So they got annoyed and said, we are going to take this.
One name I've not heard you mention so far in this discussion, but who a lot of people believe is a factor, especially in Labour Party, is Peter Obi, the party's presidential candidate in the 2023 election. Does that name have a role to play in this election? Will it galvanize any support, any vote for Labour Party?
Though even I'm not a member of any of the political party, but thinking strategically, I want to believe that if the candidate of the party, Olumide Akpata, is strategic, I believe that it will not allow that, the Peter Obi presence in Edo State to slip through his finger. He must go for it. If I were in his shoes, you know what I would do? I will make sure when the campaign starts, I will make sure that I go on war grounds, 192 wards of Edo State with Peter Obi at least 5 times. Because if you look at the last election, that's, in fact, Edo State has become the stronghold of the obedient movement. If you saw the outing in 2020 election, 2023 election, Labour Party produced a senator, the senator from Edo South. Edo South is the largest senatorial district, in terms of the population of voters and the number of local government, very big. And Neda Emaswe, who won the senatorial election, between the two of us, I'm not sure he even printed any campaign poster. He was not given a chance. He was written off. But he wrote to victory on the back of the obedient movement. The youth, they are frustrated. They wanted to veil their anger, and the best way for them to do that is to punish the system. They decided to punish PC at the election, and they voted Neda Emaswe. Emaswe won. So the population is still there. All that the Labour Party people have to do is to just, touch base, get Peter Obi to touch base with his people, and I tell you, there will be a kind of a renewed momentum, that could just sweep Olumide Akpata into the government house.
that would be interesting. One of the things that you mentioned as you spoke last reflects on the issue of zoning. That is how people, ensure that they fought at that level. The parties have done their primaries. Zoning's done. We saw the APC became divided over the issue of this zone that produced the incumbent can produce the next candidate. What do you think about, maybe you limit it to the major parties. What do you think about their strategy in terms of zoning? Who does it favor?
Yeah, thank you very much. You see, the issue of zoning, is being played up now by the Edo Central Senatorial Zone, because they've not really had their fair share of the governorship. And that was the battle we fought then when I was with Chief Tony Aneni. We wanted, what is his name now? Odion Ogbesia, to be the governorship candidate of the party. But the president, Obasanjo, then thought differently, that it should be Osumbo. Osumbo now He got the ticket because Anani had to concede to the president. You know, he couldn't fight the president. So Osumbo became the candidate of the party and went ahead to win the election, so to speak. But because Oshomole, you know, Oshomole was just fresh from his presidency of Labour of NLC. And yes, the Binedion, Yamun, you know, they orchestrated an arrangement to have him run on the platform of AC, you know, and that singular move defeated the idea of zoning arrangement in Edo State, because Oshomole went ahead to win that election in the court. He got it back from Osumbo. That, you know, was supposed to be the chance of Edo Central to be governor maybe for 8 years. But Oshomole got it and ran it out for 8 years. The fact that Oshomole became governor, you know, on his own merit, you know, in law we say suo motu, without, you know, he just went there on his own momentum. He got it. He didn't clamor for zoning. He didn't look for any father to. He won that election, and that was a significant political, you know, move by Oshomole. And I think it's a kind of dividend that we should have latched onto and continued with. To be fair to Oshomole in this last prime, he was not talking of zoning. If he was talking of zoning, perhaps it could be talking of Edo Central, you know, which appears not to have gotten its own fair share. But he was supporting Dennis Idahosa from Edo South, knowing full well that the incumbent is from Edo South. So he believed that, you know, it should be on merit, and that was why also I, as a person, I had my candidate for the election, who unfortunately did not win the primary, Prince Clem Agba. You know, I was supporting because I believe that he was the best of them all. And leaders of APC that we interacted with, you know, privately, they also confided in us. They also said it, that Agba was the best of all the aspirants, but because of some reasons, you know, they would not want to give it to him. So zoning is good for. I'm from Edo Central. I would say that yes, zoning is good for me because if Edo Central wins,
it favors you.
Power. But I'm not looking at I'm not looking at zones. I look at Edo State as a whole. You know, I don't believe in tribal politics. You know, I think Edo agenda is much more robust than Esan agenda or Benin agenda or Afema agenda. So that is my position, you know. So to that extent, yes, Edo Central, lucky us. We have 2 candidates in this election. Actually, Udalo of PDP and Akpakomiza Monday Okwewolo for APC. Now, but very unfortunately for us, I say unfortunately because I expected that the leadership of Labour Party should have done their own work to make sure that an Esan man, you know, emerged as the candidate of Labour Party, but they couldn't fix that. And an Edo South person, Olumide Akpata, emerged as a candidate of Labour Party, now threatening, you know, the idea of zoning, the zoning arrangement, because now you are leaving Ase Odalo and Monday Okwewolo to fight for the votes of Edo Central, to divide the votes. Whereas you have, to cancel out each other. But now you have Olumide Akpata having the whole of Edo South, because anything can happen. If Edo South people decide today, maybe because of one, you know, misstep by any of the 2 candidates from Edo Central, and decide to say, okay, we want to go tribal, we want to support our own, it's going to be a problem for Edo Central, because anybody that wins, is it Oredo? I think Oredo and 2 other local government like that, very, very big local government, is as good as the winner of that election. And strategically, you see that APC and PDP, they left Edo North. Edo North is the next biggest zone in that arrangement. They left it open. And what's his name? Olumide Akpata went straight there and picked a running mate, Prince Kadiri Asama, a senior advocate of Nigeria, a prince of Auchi Kingdom, as his running mate. You know, people may be saying that yes, Oshomole is there. Oshomole will seal a donor for APC. I don't think that is going to, to work this. If you so much thought that Oshomole could do that for you, the way the APC has dealt with Oshomole, if I were in his shoe, I would be reluctant to move out in full force to ensure that APC made a good show in that election, because you have already shown that Oshomole is not your leader. You defeated him within the party. You know, he had a candidate, but you allow an outsider to be the one to determine the candidate of APC. If as a senator, leader of the party, Oshomole could not produce the leader, the candidate of APC. That's what I'm talking about. And I hear that the Senate president that ensured that Monday, who was also a senator, emerged as APC candidate. You know, it's going to be. I don't know if they're going to manage that tension. You know, it's what I would call political dialectics that should be managed. But how they manage it is what I don't know. I'm not a member of APC, even though by my relationship with Agba, I was to be drafted, into the media team of the APC. But I made him realize that I'm not an APC member. I'm not a. Even when I was with Chief Tony Aneni, he didn't draft me into PDP. He didn't force me. He was relating with me as a media professional, rendering professional services. So I was his media advisor. So I was Agba's special assistant of media when he was minister of state for budget and national planning, in the last administration.
I'm not a member of the party.
I'm not a member of the party. I'm not a Kakari member of any party. So drafting me into that, I didn't see it as proper. So I politely reached out to them that they should just let me be, So that was what happened.
Okay, thank you for going into what I was going to ask as a separate question. That is the primaries of the parties and the apparent fallout, which we have seen. But are there any other details in these primaries that you feel will work for or against these parties? Because like you pointed out, having emerged, Olumide Akpata did what was needed. He went into Edo North to pick a running mate and got him changed. What about the stronger parties? How are they going to manage this issue of the candidates and the running mates, the way they emerged? Do you foresee any obstruction in that process to their path to victory?
Yes, I think what they did what they were supposed to do, but politics is not 1 + 1 is equal to 2. 1 + 1 could be equal to 4 in politics. The candidate of APC, candidate of PDP, both of them, picked their running mate from Edo South.
Yeah.
And I know that because they could not have picked the candidate from elsewhere, apart from that place. They could not have gone to Edo North. Only the Akpata went to Edo North. He had that luxury because the two other parties, bigger parties, they were constrained, they were compared, to go to look to Edo South, because that is where the voting population is. So you cannot just take the governorship and deny them the deputy governorship. So they had to go to Edo South. And if you look at PDP chose Osarodion Oge, the incumbent SSG, as the running mate. And Oge is a loved politician in that zone. You know, it's on ground. You know, he has it because I can remember that at the point, some leaders of the party, they were trying to see how they could prevent her from happening. They wanted to propose some other persons to be the running mate. But I believe that Aswe and Opaseki, they know the word of Oge and decided to, you know, to stick to Oge. But for the APC, you know, there was some kind of drama that played out. Now, immediately, what's his name? Akpakomiza was declared winner. The man, Dennis Daosa, who was originally declared winner by the committee headed by the Imo governor, you know, decided, you know, yes, Opuzodima, you know, to INEC that, you know, INEC should not accept Monday Okwewolo as the candidate of the party, you know, and they were threatening court action. But the APC leadership in Edo, they ignored the threat. They moved on. In fact, they were at the point of negotiating, you know, a kind of partnership, political rapprochement with PDP. You know, because they wanted, in fact, they had almost consummated the deal to make Ogbede Hammer, you know, of PDP, the running mate to Monday Okwewolo. It was, I think it was on the eve of that Oshomole and Ganduje, I was told, how to run to the villa to go and meet with the president. They begged the president, and the president had to move in to say that, you know, they should give that ticket to Dennis Daosa. That's today the running mate of Okwewolo. So it's a marriage of convenience. You know, it's convenient to the extent that we want to see, let's just paper over Accra, let's win this election. But what will happen thereafter if they win the election? You know, it's in the womb of time. Nobody knows what I mean, the relationship between the two of them, because they know the directions from which they are. You know, this one coming from Abuja, this one coming from Oshomole. You know, and there's breathing on his neck. I mean, a lot of discomfort. You know, so to that extent, you know, I think the calculation is still favoring Olumide Akpata, who coming from the biggest zone, went ahead to pick his running mate from the next, you know, biggest zone, to put it that way. So he has the advantage of you know, two bigger zones against Edo Central, which accounts for about 18% of the voting population. You know, so now coming from the primaries, what I expected, you know, the candidates to do, which I looking at it now, they are not doing. You know, if they are doing it, I'm not sure they are doing it very well. When you go for primaries and you contest against, you know, opponents, you have defeated this opponent. What I expect to, you know, the winner to do is to reach out to your opponents. You know, enter into negotiation. You begin to make concessions. In fact, you can begin to form your government. You know, right even before the election. Not that you know, you have won the primaries and you are saying that the others should go to hell. You know, if they have reached out, for instance, somebody like a Labour Party, somebody like what's his name, Imaswagon, will not have gone to court against Olumide Akpata, or Jesua will not have gone to court against Aswe Odalo in PDP. It's only in APC that they were able to manage that. They got all the other aspirants, you know, to support the candidate, you know, of the party. So yes, I think I got some information as far as my own boss was concerned. I reached out to him, you know, even before he was declared the winner of the election. He had already